So now we are working on what? We are working on solving the cubic equations. And I will tell you 3 steps for both. 3 steps to solve the cubic equations and 3 steps to solve the cube root equations. I will solve one of these questions from each 3 given, and you will tell me which one should I solve. Right? First thing that we have here, solving cubic equations. Cubic is the first thing. The step number 1 is telling me there is a blank. Let's fill the blank. Can someone tell me what should I do? Because we have done these same steps in the square root equations also. Do you remember? Isolate. So the first thing that I'm going to put over there is isolate the cubic expression. Which expression over here is cubic? If I will look at the question number A, this is the cubic expression, x cube. If I'm looking at the second one, x minus 4 is a cubic expression. And if I'm looking at the third one, 5x minus 12, and on the right hand side, 3x minus 8, both are cubic expressions, right? So first step will always be isolating the cubic expression. And how will I isolate it? Keep it in mind, when I'm isolating, I will add or subtract to isolate it, or I will divide, multiply or divide, whatever is the expression based on that. So, first step, when it's done, we will go for the second step, which is take the cube root. And trust me, it's going to be almost the same thing for the solving cube root equations also. And then I will be doing the same thing with you in the next steps over here. While solving the cubic equations, we are taking a cube root, right? But when I will take the second step, solving cube root equations, for the cube root equations, we will take a cube. But that's the only thing that I'm going to change in the second step. Keeping it separate, everything else will remain the same. We will go for the second thing. Any questions so far? Where is it going to set? Say it again. If you want me to move the screen up or down, remember whatever I'm writing over here, you have access to this in your live notes. So keep the live notes on your computer open. If I'm up here, you want to see up there, go to your live notes and check it from there, right? Keep the live notes open for you so that you will not miss anything on the board. Now, third step to solve this is simple. Solve for x or solve for the variable. Variable here is an x in every single case. But if you will have any other expression other than x, you will use that. So x is a variable here, right? Now, let's do it. Which question do you want me to solve? A, B, or C? C? C is an easy one. Trust me. It's an easy one. If I will solve it, you will be in trouble with the B. Why am I saying this? This looks easy, right? So A1, it's similar, exactly same thing like a C. You see, over here we have both the terms are already isolated. I don't have anything to isolate there. I will directly go to the step number 2 for this. Take a cube root. Same thing I'm gonna do over here also. So I gave you the choice, but that was a fake choice. I will solve for you the question B. Why am I doing that? Because here I do need to perform the step number 1, step number 2, and then step number 3. 3 steps will be done over here for the B. First step. Why am I bringing you to this question specifically? Do you see any term over here added or subtracted to the cubic term? What do you think, Evelyn? Which number do we need to get rid of from here? 8 should not be there. Good. So this 8 over here, that's not letting my cubic term isolated. So we need to isolate it. So what should I do? Tell me. Subtract an 8 from both sides, and that will bring me the next step, which is x minus 4 whole cube equals -8, right? Now, what's the second step? You have it written on your worksheets. What is the second step? KB? What's the second step? And don't ask your friend. You have it on your worksheet. That's the third step. Second step. What is the second? Take a cube root. So that's what I will do over here. I will take a cube root here on both sides, huh? On both sides. And cube root means this 3 here and on the other side also. So what will that do with the cubic term? It will cancel it out. The cube and cube root will be cancelled out with each other. How will I solve this? -8, cube root of that. To solve this, I will take you back to the Desmos. Can you open the Desmos on your screens also? Go to the Desmos, and I will tell you 2 ways to solve this on your Desmos. Let's open the Desmos here. In your Desmos, going to the calculator. Now look at the screen. In your Desmos, what are you going to do? Use the keyboard which is provided here. In that keyboard, go to the functions, right? Can you remember this step? Going to the function, we will scroll all the way till the end, and this is a function that will give you the cube root. Click on this. What should I write outside? 3. What should I write inside? -8. What's the result? -2. So that's what I'm going to bring in over here for the right hand side. Left hand side is what? X minus 4. X minus 4 is my left hand side, and right hand side is -2. From here, I'm sure that you can definitely solve it easily. Am I right? What you should do here, you need to find out the value of x. So what should be my next step? Add 4 on both sides. Perfect. And what will that give me later? X equals a 2. Positive 2. And then I'm going to highlight this is my answer. We are done. All done. So I want to put 2 things in my recording. One is that the solution, how to solve the cubic equation. Now to continue, we will definitely work on the other 2 questions also, but I want to go first for the other thing, which is solving the cube root equations. So bear with me. Let's go to that. Here, which one will I solve for you? I will solve the B again. That's some comparatively a little bit thing where we need to use all the 3 steps. Here, no, here we can solve the A also, because this one I need to isolate also cubic term, cube root term. Steps. Let's write down the steps first. First step, isolate. Second step, cube. Take cube on both sides, because cube root and the cube are inverse of each other. So inverse operation, like if something's been added, we will subtract it. If something is subtracted, we will add it. So cube and cube root are inverse of each other. Here we are isolating the cube root expression, then we will take cube. Third step, solve for the variable. A variable can be anything. Here, it's an x. What do I do next? Let's think about the steps. Step number 1. So am I fine by solving the number question A? Will you allow me to do that? Question A. 3 steps. Step number 1. Isolate. What should I isolate here? I have a cube root term, right? This is my cube root term. What's extra there that I need to get rid of? 2. How can I get rid of that? I will divide that by a 2. Then, when I did this, we will be left with the x cube root of x equals a -3. What's the step number 2? Take cube on both sides. Good. So that's the step number 2. I'm going to do it here. And this will simply cancel out the cube root and the cube. What am I left with? This was the step number 2, by the way. So I need to move my step number 2 slightly here. What's the next step? Next step is, let's look at the solution. So we are here with x equals negative 3 raised to power 3. Simply use Desmos again. Take the cube of 3, but don't forget to put the negative inside the parentheses. Okay? And when you will do that, you will get x equals negative 27, and that's your answer. You're done. Should I give you a cheat code to solve the equations? A cheat code. How can you do it without going through all this algebraic stuff? But don't just think about the cheat code. You should be able to do it algebraically also. I will give you a solution. Look at this. Which one should we solve using Desmos? Cubic equation. How will I do that? Let me get back. Which equation will we solve here? This one, huh? I will write down the whole thing, the whole equation. I will write it down in Desmos. Let's look at this. Daniel, easy thing. Jacob, don't forget it. I'm solving the equations using Desmos. The same step is possible in square root equations also and quadratic equations also. So let's write it down over there. X minus 4 and then the whole cube was there. Let me get back over here. What was the equation? This is the one that I'm working on. The equation of the question B. Huh? So x minus 4 whole cube plus and 8. You see the function? Where is my function here in Desmos? Where is it intersecting the x-axis? It's intersecting the x-axis at 2. That's going to be my answer. The root for this function is a solution for this function, right? For this equation. So 2 is the answer. Let's say in any other instance, if you will have a complete equation, plus 8 equals a 4, then what will happen? You will see a different point wherever it's intersecting this straight line, wherever this is intersecting the x-axis, that's your answer. But in all cases, it's an easier thing. I will just put this 2 over here, and you see we got the same thing. X equals 2 was my answer. So you can use Desmos, you can use algebraically, so solve it, and you get the answer, right? That's what we wanted to record.